Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm away this week, so I've pre-recorded this, and I hope you're enjoying this month's chat on achieving equity, otherwise known as equality, but slightly different, in a gym environment. And today's change number 5, is to address the barriers to exercise that are specific to women. And I've got a few comments to make on this. And once again, I just feel like I need to reiterate, this is not a judgment on anybody. This is not accusing anyone of anything, but what it is hopefully bringing awareness to some of the issues we face as women and allowing you the opportunity to make tiny, tiny little tweaks that will make massive impacts to our lives. So, the barriers for women. So women need to exercise, just to reiterate that, as lack of exercise is one of the main risk factors for developing chronic disease. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you'll know that women across the board are more likely to develop chronic disease, from autoimmune problems to dementia. Worldwide, however, women are less active than men. And there's quite a large gap between men who move frequently and women who move frequently. Now, pelvic floor dysfunction is the #1 barrier to exercise for women in Australia, yet movement, appropriate movement, can cure incontinence in 80% of cases. So regular exercise will also slow the onset of dementia, and we know 2 out of 3 people with dementia are women, and it will reduce the risk of developing heart disease. Now, dementia and heart disease are the #1 and 2 killers of women, or causes of death of women in Australia right now as well. Other barriers include not feeling like they belong in the weights room, not feeling or not understanding why they're doing exercise and what kind of exercises are important for this person specifically. Feelings of judgment stop them coming in, or perceived judgment, so regarding their size, their appearance, or their ability in particular. And then there's competing demands on their time, which can't be underestimated. Midlife women in particular have aging parents, usually youngish children at home, sometimes teenagers, a lot of the time teenagers with their own unique challenges. Plus, if they're working, they're still usually, in this day and age, pulling the lion's share of housework, and sort of management of children's lives and activities. So there's a lot going on for women and their time. Women's only gyms and women's only areas are one answer to feeling like they belong in the weights room. There's some criticism that they're sexist, but they're also safe for women from predatory behavior. So there's some newspaper articles that I can share with you if you're interested, of women being filmed without their consent, and also having their bodies commented on by people they don't know, usually men. And this can sometimes lead to them feeling unsafe. And then if they're unsure why they even need to do weights, then that can compound that problem. So if you're a trainer who wants to create a more equitable gym environment, educating your female clients on what exercise is appropriate for them, how to use what equipment and when, then condensing that into a session that will fit into a very small time slot and that will fit in around their family life and competing demands, it's a fabulous start. And I reckon most of us are already doing that, although I do also reckon most of us are doing that with a poor education on female physiology. However, when it comes to a feelings of belonging and safety for women, we also still have a bit of a way to go. I think mainly because, as men, unfortunately, and how we've discussed already, the gym is built for you. So you may not have considered these barriers before, and hopefully now you have some insight. That's it. All right. I'm not saying people are doing this deliberately and it's a conspiracy. Absolutely not. So women's only areas are one idea. However, that still puts the onus on the woman to keep herself safe. What I think is ideal is if we are creating a culture of inclusion, men, women, people with chronic disease and various ability, or disability. We're creating a culture of respect, and we've got a culture of calling out poor and sometimes illegal, in the case of filming women, behaviors. And this can be done by encouraging other gym goers, by your trainers or yourself setting an example of what it looks like to respect and encourage people of various ability, disability, genders, etc., into the weights or the gym environment beyond standing on a treadmill. Okay, so if nothing else, start with that. And if you had to do just one thing now, then get educated on pelvic floor, because it's the #1 reason why women aren't coming in or coming back. That's the biggest hurdle for now, and then you can address each of the other hurdles as they come along. Any questions, feel free to message me as always. I'm happy for positive and negative feedback, and I will see you live next week for more.